All right, let me tell you about one of the strangest and most baffling mysteries I've ever heard of. It's a case so bizarre that it's become a legend among true crime enthusiasts. This is the story of the YOGTZE Case, and trust me, it's going to leave you scratching your head. Our story takes us back to the quiet town of Onshausen, Germany in October 1984. It was the kind of place where life was simple and people didn't lock their doors at night. But for one man, things were anything but normal. That man was Günther Stoll. Günther was a 34-year-old food engineer who had been going through a rough patch. He'd lost his job and was battling paranoia. He often talked to his wife about them, a group of people he believed were out to get him. But who they were, he never explained. Now, on the evening of October 25th, 1984, Günther was at home with his wife when he suddenly exclaimed, "Now I get it," and grabbed a piece of paper. He scribbled down the letters YOGTZE, though some people argue it could have been YOGTZE instead. Whatever it was, it's remained a mystery to this day. After writing it down, Günther seemed deeply unsettled. He told his wife he needed to go out and clear his head. She wasn't thrilled about it, but what could she do? He left the house around 11 p.m. Günther drove to his favorite pub, where he ordered a beer. He wasn't there long, though. Witnesses said he took one sip, then suddenly fell to the ground, as if he'd been struck by something. But when people rushed to help him, he insisted he was fine. He got up, left the pub, and drove off into the night. What happened next is where things get really weird. Sometime in the early hours of October 26th, Günther's car was found in a ditch on the side of the Autobahn near Hagen. It was badly damaged, but Günther wasn't inside. Instead, his body was found about 100 meters away, lying on the shoulder of the highway. He was completely naked, and he was barely alive. A passing truck driver stopped and called for help, but by the time emergency services arrived, Günther was dead. Now, here's where it gets even stranger. The autopsy revealed that Günther hadn't died from injuries sustained in the car crash. Instead, he'd been run over by a different vehicle after leaving his car. And here's the kicker. The medical examiner found food in his stomach that he hadn't eaten at the pub or at home. So, where had he been and who had he been with? Police initially thought this might have been a hit and run, but the evidence didn't add up. For starters, Günther's injuries suggested he'd been lying on the ground when he was run over, not standing or walking. And then there's the mystery of his car. Witnesses reported seeing two men near Günther's vehicle shortly before it ended up in the ditch. Who were they? And what role did they play in all of this? The YOGTZE note added another layer of mystery. Was it a code, a license plate, a random collection of letters and numbers? No one knows. Over the years, people have speculated that it might have been related to Günther's paranoia. Some think it could have been an abbreviation for something in German, like YOGTZE, which ties into his background as a food engineer. Others believe it could have been a cry for help, a warning, or even a message from someone else. Then there's the theory that Günther was involved in some kind of espionage or secret project. His paranoia about them and the cryptic note have led some to speculate that he might have stumbled upon sensitive information and was silenced because of it. But again, there's no solid evidence to support this. Another theory is that Günther's death was linked to a mental breakdown. His paranoia and erratic behavior in the days leading up to his death suggests he might have been in a fragile state of mind. Some people think he could have imagined the threat of them and that his death was a tragic accident. But this doesn't explain the presence of the two men near his car or the fact that he was run over while lying down. And let's not forget the food. The autopsy showed that Günther had eaten a meal shortly before his death, but no one knows where or with whom. Did he stop somewhere after leaving the pub? Did he meet someone who offered him food? Or was it something more sinister? Here's another odd detail. The timeline of events between when Günther left the pub and when his body was discovered doesn't fully add up. Where did he go? Who did he meet? And how did his car end up in a ditch, with him found so far away? The case has remained unsolved for nearly 40 years, and it's not for lack of trying. Police interviewed countless witnesses, analyzed the cryptic note, and followed up on every lead they could find. They even considered the possibility that Günther had been involved in illegal activities or owed money to dangerous people. But nothing concrete ever came of those leads. In recent years, amateur sleuths and internet forums have kept the mystery alive, proposing everything from alien abduction to government conspiracies. Some even think the note was a desperate attempt by Günther to communicate something crucial, but he just didn't have enough time or clarity to explain it fully. So, what do you think happened to Günther Stoll? Was he the victim of a targeted attack, a tragic accident, or something else entirely? And what does YOGTZE mean? It's a case that's as haunting as it is perplexing, and every time I think about it, I can't help but feel like we're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. The YOGTZE case is a mystery that will continue to fascinate and frustrate for years to come. In the end, the YOGTZE case is a chilling reminder of how even the most ordinary lives can spiral into extraordinary mysteries. Despite decades of investigation and countless theories, the true story of Günther Stoll's final hours remains locked away. A puzzle with too many missing pieces. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there knows the answers, waiting for the right moment to come forward. Until then, this case will remain an enigma, haunting the imaginations of those who dare to delve into its depths. What do you think about that? Leave a comment down below.